this week's video is a little bit different. I actually finished a sketchbook. I know, shocking, at least to me, very shocking, because I have so many sketchbooks on the go that it takes me a long time to finish them if I get them done. I mean, I have piles. I need to pull them out and do a new video showing all the piles of sketchbooks I have. So we're gonna get right into it. First, I'm gonna say this, what I've got covering my table is actually fabric. It's called, my favorite color is Moda. It's a Moda fabric. I've had it in my fabric stash, so I know I'm gonna get questions about it. I love it because it's got all the different color tones on it. Yeah, it's definitely fun. So, but that's what that is. Now let's get into the sketchbook. This sketchbook has stickers from Emily Harvey Art and Monkey Mintaka. They have gotten worn because I've had this sketchbook for a little while. This one I don't think is available anymore because she is no longer doing characters. But I started this sketchbook on October 10th in 2023, and I finished it April 24th, 2025. So I did work fairly in order. I worked in order. I did add these in because I was playing around with color. These are watercolors, and I did like 2 different kinds of primary colors for these. I did a different primary for each color wheel just to see what I could get with the colors. But yeah, I mixed them from these. So those are my red, blue, yellow, and this, I did a magenta for these. So started out with some swatches. I think these were my this at the time was the Pitt brush pens that I had, and the Faber-Castell Golden Faber. So these were the colors that I had at the time. Now my collection has gotten a lot bigger. These, I cannot remember. I think these may have been Katie Moody. I don't remember. They were patron inspirations. And yeah, so I was trying to do like which colors I was using, and these are polychromos, and these are the Pitt brush pens. So, and the same here, polychromos and Pitt brush pens that I use for each picture. Now this was Katie Moody. This was a travel spread that we were doing inspiration with some things from her Patreon. But yeah, so I was still playing around with adding the colors that I used to the sides. I just thought it was fun. We love going to Asheville for my birthday, and so this was the second year we had went for my birthday. We didn't get to go last year because of the floods, but yeah, Asheville is one of our favorite places. So I drew these on location waiting for, this was at Burger Works. They have a really good veggie burger too. This is also from Asheville. It was based on a picture that I took just playing around drawing with Pitt brush pens, and then with pen on top. This was from a Zoom session with Monkey Mintaka April, my friend April, and these were things that she had taken at a festival in the Lake District in England. This was a picture from my same trip. This is actually Black Mountain, North Carolina. Then the Zoom. I really enjoyed this sketchbook at the beginning. I was using it a lot. So yeah, for my birthday, which my birthday is a week before my daughter's, we went to Asheville. The next weekend we went to her favorite, which was St. Augustine. And so just little things, little snippets while we were sitting at the Kookaburra. I drew that. Didn't really like that. Had fun drawing shells and ice cream and things like that. And these were just inspiration that I found. I was playing around with. I like this one better than this one. I didn't like the color green that I painted the underpainting with, so yeah, I prefer this one to this one. And this was starting Gouache-Vember. Gouache-Vember is where you paint using wash. And this was acrylic wash. So I painted what was on my phone at the time. I think it was technology, and then boxes, cake, and this, I can't remember, I can't remember what the prompt was for this one, but it was at a place setting. Oh, fancy. Bottle, boat, spark. Then I painted my supplies, because I really like acrylic wash. Music, forest. I will say, sometimes you have to make bad art. Don't like these pages. I do like these. Don't like these. I like this one. This one was, I think it was recipe. So I did this one, which is actually one of my favorite salads. Music. We think we were supposed to paint something else, and I didn't do that one. So I didn't finish this for Gouache November for 2023. These were Time Session with Katie Moody and her Patreon. I have gotten better at being quick after doing a lot of time sessions. But these were like 15 minutes. I think this was like 30. Then this was an inspiration on my Patreon, which I am reopening this month. And so these were some just little inspiration pictures that I added. I love swatch pages because this was a book I was carrying with me everywhere, so I figured if I swatched all my pens and color pencils, I wouldn't rebuy, because I'm really bad about rebuying. I don't know about you. I'm bad about rebuying because if it's a color I like, if I don't know I have, you know, you're just drawn to it. These were some more Patreon inspiration that I used the week between Christmas and New Year's. This was 2023. Yeah, I was sick. More Patreon reference pictures that I had that I used. This turned into a coloring sheet, which is on my Patreon. Well, will be on my Patreon. Playing around with color. I drew a grid lightly with pencil and then just played around with adding all my color pencils. I was working on a workbook. Actually, this wasn't a workbook. This was the covers for my Procreate brushes. So yeah, I just thumbnailed them. More color mixing charts. I was inspired by Dylan Marwinski, or Dylan M on most social media. She was using her Tombow brushes to do this. So what I did was I just put the colors along the top and along the sides, and to see how my pit brushes mixed together. Probably should have put some of these over here, but you know, it happens. And then these are my polychromos, and the pit brushes are polychromos. This is just playing around. I actually used the letter O stamp with some permanent ink and stamped these on just to give myself something to color in. This was from Monkey Mintaka. I was playing around with drawing things for a trip. And then this starts some of my trip to England that I went to England, Scotland, and Wales for 3 weeks in March of 2024. And so this was at the airport. Airport snacks. Our flight was delayed 4 hours, so I was drawing airport snacks. I did not draw a lot on the trip. I took a lot of pictures, have lots of references. I was sitting in the hotel lobby in Inverness, and I drew the bouquet, the big flower arrangement. And this was, as you can see, from the 15th to the 24th. This was in Wales. I was sitting in a Starbucks looking out because my daughter was having to do some college assignments. I decided to, when we got back, take some of the pictures that I took and draw them in here. So this was March 10th. I didn't draw it on March 10th. I just started writing these, but this was, you know, the meal on the plane. our little snack setup in our bed and breakfast in Windermere. It was picked on by my friends over there that I had to go get a sandwich from Sainsbury's. Then we had a seagull visit us a couple of times out our window because we were up on the 4th floor in this cute little bed and breakfast, and you realize that you're not far from the ocean. Lunch with friends at the in Ambleside at the Apple Pie Cafe. I drew my lemonade. And then I was just, you know, remembering a friend on her birthday. Passed away. She loved butterflies. So this is May 14th of 2024. I was drawing what was in front of me. Sometimes when you don't know what to draw, that's the best thing to do. Look what's in front of you. I had pencils, an eraser, 3 different kinds of pencils, my phone, and my watch. It was fairly easy. And then this is playing with color pencils over acrylic wash. So I did all these mixes of acrylic wash and was just playing around with my pencils trying to see. This was the color, added black, added white. The color, black, white. With a little, actually this has lilac added to it. So it was, you know, it was just playing around with the colors to see what I would get just by adding black and white. I was inspired by somebody, I cannot remember for the life of me who this one is, but I drew it twice. Once in color pencil, once in mark with pit brush pens and an ink pen. And then some days I just wanted to draw flowers and patterns, and basically what I did was I drew the shapes, just color blocked in, and then doodled over top. That's what all of these pages are. They're, it's when I couldn't think of anything, so this is what I did. Sometimes I would just use the pit brush pens and do all the color, and then come back and add the line doodles. Drawed my supplies in the style of Dylan Morwinski, which there was a class I was doing, or one of her prompt list or something, but yeah, it was to draw it in her style, which is not my style. More doodles, flower doodles, which are my go-to. I had so much fun drawing these. Oh my goodness. Sardines, fancy fish, whatever you want to call them. They were just so fun drawing these. I drew them first, then colored them in. And yeah, this was really, really fun. And I like the colors, so I like this page. More flower doodles, fruit, all kinds of, you know, it's just whatever I was thinking of. Sometimes these were prompts that I would find on Instagram on a prompt list. I think this one was layers, and I played around with layers. And then these, oh my goodness, I created some stencils using my Silhouette, and a few years ago I designed some stencils that I cut out for myself to use on my jelly plates. And so I decided to pull those out again, and I just used the pit brush pens. I had 2 different sizes of this same shape stencil, and I used my pit brush pens, did the large ones in orange, and then colored the negative space. Nope, I did the large ones in orange, did the red ones, then I colored in the negative space, and then added some detail as well. Or may have done 3 different layers. I don't exactly remember. This is 2 layers. You can see the lighter layer behind and the other layer on top. And I doodled just the top layer instead of the bottom. This one didn't get finished, but you know, you can come back if I wanted to and come back and do this. But yeah, I actually like the way it is, so you can see how the layers work. I almost wish I'd have left one of these empty and just left the light one. Here's what it looks like before the pen. Just playing around with this one. And then these were just going back to adding color and then coming back and doodling on top. Same. And these are the Stabilo highlighters, basically. And I was playing around with them. I picked up some bright colors and they were fun. And actually I thought this one was going to be brighter based on the color of the barrel and it wasn't, so I ended up with 3 bright colors and 1 muted color, but that's fine. I had fun with them. That's what this one is. Drawing. I basically drew these as figure 8s and then turned them into bows. I wanted to show the difference between the two. And then here are these, same way, same thing. I started out with the shape, drew a line in which direction I wanted it to go, and I finished this one. Yeah. Quick doodles with a pen, not lifting my pen off the paper for each object. Just black and white doodles. This was a session with Monkey Mintaka. You sketched it and then drew from your sketch. And now we're getting to this year. I'm trying to remember, this was September, so I hadn't picked this up in a few months. So this was prompts from Omar Wynn, and it was coffee mug. So these are my favorite coffee mugs that I use all the time. Jars of pickles and jam. I just grabbed things off my shelf. I didn't really have any pickles. I had the maple spread, I didn't have any jam, so these are just jars. It's 14 days of sketchbooking. I was working on, through a project, a branding project. So I worked on that. This was a Monkey Mintaka sketching Zoom again. So this is 6 minutes. I decided to use negative space and draw them. This is from the same Zoom. It was interiors is what it was. And I love using these sketching sessions to practice different things. Like this one was 8 minutes. Sometimes I'd get really detailed and work on one piece, and then this was 8 minutes, so you can see how I got way more done on this side than this side. I'm getting faster. 10 minutes of all the chairs. 12 minutes. There was 2 people standing on this one. I didn't draw the people. I just focused on the machine. 15 minutes, I just used one color to draw the whole scene because it was a really busy scene. 8 minutes on this one. Didn't get it finished. And then, but I was so inspired by that Zoom, which it says right here, the Zoom with April made me want to draw interiors. So I pulled up this small space studio on Pinterest and had fun drawing it. I liked the line drawing so much I didn't want to add color to it. Basically, I want to get back to creating for me and not just what I think others will like. Also, you know, talking about Catnip and Catherine from Catnip about needing to create for the fun of it. Yeah, so, because I was really burnt out back in January working, and I just did not feel like drawing much. So that's, but I really did enjoy this piece. So 5 days later, I was playing around with this and really drew it too big on the page. So I didn't know, you know, I was like, I started up here and I drew it too big. So yeah, I just need to redo it if I was going to do it. And then I didn't pick it up again until March. Because, like I said, I've got so many sketchbooks on the go. Yeah. This is a little still life thing that I've created on my desk. I didn't finish it. It has a little plant and a little lady standing there. My tools. I had a doctor's office visits this month, and so I had painted these swiped because I've been painting a lot and I didn't want to waste the paint. Yeah, this one didn't, you can't really see what I drew on it, but it was basically what was sitting on the desk back in the back. And then my next office visit, this one was, you can't tell what this one is. But yeah, that was I thought it was fun with this, with the paint already on the page. Then I did this. This is my little Rolodex. That was my mom's, and I've been painting Rolodex cards in it, which there is a video. The previous video on my channel shows me painting some of these Rolodex cards. And then a short shows my swatching of these. So yeah. But that's it, I was drawing them. And then I had a Zoom with April, again, from Monkey Mintaka. I'm a member of her Patreon. And we had like 5 minutes to draw. We were drawing shapes. And then 6 minutes. And then I decided to do thumbnails instead of full size for these because they were very, you know, lots of detail and things like that. But yeah, it was fun doing it on the pre-painted pages. Then we had bears. I am not good at drawing bears, so this one looks alright. Don't like that one. Don't really like the panda. And then people, and like it was, we were trying to figure out shapes. So instead of drawing the person, I was trying to draw the pose and figure out exactly, like this was a little girl on a swing. This was two girls sitting. So I was just trying to draw the poses. They were fun. And then these were the little quick at the end. House with a tree, a giraffe, penguins, and a lady carrying a bunch of sticks, and I did the pose again. And then last week I started playing around again. Less than 10 minutes for this whole page just to have some fun. All the different drinking glasses or bottles or water, whatever, on my desk. I had picked some wildflowers, so I decided to draw them, but not draw the whole, you know, bouquet. Looking over toward my window, my work table, I have a wind chime. It's inside. I do not have it outside. And then more negative space drawings. I have a water jug because I do not have a sink in my studio, so I bring water out to paint. Cup, got it a little wonky. And I wanted to play with layers. So what I did was I took one of the blank Rolodex cards and just literally drew them, like used it like a mask and drew around it and created this page. And then instead of drawing on them or coloring them, I colored the background. So that was one way of playing around with layers that I did in this one. And then I have this one. I decided instead of coloring the background, I would color each card. So I had to figure out which cards went with what, especially in the backgrounds. But I did the same thing, drew around them, layered them. I really like this page the best, in all honesty. I like the layout. Just trying to finish the sketchbook, I used my Stabilo highlighters again on this. Drew the shapes of the leaves and then drew just the color block and then doodled over them and then just added a few more. And then I wanted to finish it off again with all the colors in all of the colors that I have in my collection. All my Pitt brush pens, and then all of the Polychromos color pencils. And then the pencils I have. An HB Prismacolor, turquoise, a Blackwing, a Tombow Mono, Stabilo All, and then the Zebra pen. But yeah, that was how I finished my sketchbook. And I really did enjoy this sketchbook. I wish I had more of this size. I have more of this brand. I just don't have any more of this size. I have a little one that I've been working in that I was just drawing things, an object or whatever. I have that one. I have a square one. I have a couple of landscape ones. So I have a bunch of these. So yeah, I just need to pull them all out and do a whole what's in my sketchbook. If you'd like to see that, let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and stick around and please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and click the bell icon so you'll know when I publish a video. I try to publish a video every week, and so yeah, and I will see you soon. Bye.